This is the set on this. This set up wonderful. I mean, completely gelled, like I had put pectin in it. So, I mean, that's awesome. So I'm super happy with this. It tastes amazing. And gosh, I am so happy that I did this with you guys today. Hey friends, welcome back to Simply a Better You. Today we are taking advantage of the amazing weather outside. We have the entire house opened up to get some canning done. Yesterday we got 17 quarts of tomato sauce done. I finally cleaned out all the freezers of all the tomatoes that I had frozen from last year. And we're still pulling tomatoes out of our garden, and I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with those yet, but at least my freezers are cleaned out. So now we're going to move on to all of that fruit that I purchased from Azure Standard. So we picked up 5 pounds of raspberries, blackberries, and strawberries, and we are going to make jam, or preserves if you want to call it that, from all of that fruit that we purchased. So guys, let's go ahead and jump in here and get started on our jam. So here is our 5-pound bag of raspberries. I'm letting it sit in the sink and thaw, just so I can break it up a little easier to get it in the pan. We're going to use a nice heavy pot, and I am pulling a recipe out of this book. This was a book that was gifted to me by my aunt, and it calls for 3/4 of a cup to a cup of sugar per cup of fruit. Now, I am not going to put that much sugar in there. I mean, that's a lot of sugar. So I'm going to keep adding sugar until it's to a nice taste. You know, I'm going to go off of the recipe that's in here, but I'm just not going to, you know, fill my fruit up with nothing but sugar. We are also going to add some apples into this. Apples are high in a natural pectin, and that will help it set up, because I will not be adding any type of pectin to this or anything to thicken it. I'm going to cook it, and cook it slowly, and allow it to thicken naturally by itself. I am going to use the sugar that I have on hand. I know a lot of people use the white processed sugar. I have a raw cane sugar here that we'll be using. And then, you know, if you want to stay away from the sugar and want to lean more to the natural sweeteners, look at honey. I've seen a lot of people use honey in their jams or canning recipes. So just make sure that you're following a recipe that you're comfortable with, something that if you prefer that it is approved by, you know, like a ball canning recipe or a USDA canning recipe, so that you feel safe, go with that method. So, all right, let's go ahead and dump our fruit in here. Hannah is going to be my assistant. She is just dying to be on camera. I need to go ahead and get my apron on. This is not completely thawed yet, but it should fit. I definitely know that it is time for me to invest in a really good sized stock pot with a really good thick bottom to it, because I'm cooking larger quantities of things and doing larger batches. Here, you want a frozen raspberry? Perks of cooking with mom. We love frozen fruit. So we are going to start. Woo! That's a little tart, but good. It's a good raspberry. All right. Uh-oh. So we're going to go ahead and start heating this up and cooking this down. Like I said, we are going to cook this on a medium to low heat. I'm also going to add a little bit of water, not a whole bunch, but a little bit of water to the bottom of this, because these are frozen. I probably wouldn't do that if they were fresh, because I could smash them up and get a good liquid going. But because these are frozen, I'm going to put just a little bit of water at the bottom of it and kind of help it along. So I purchased these raspberries from Azure Standard. They were on sale when I bought them. I'm going to go ahead and link in the description below the Azure link. if you want to check these out. And then I will include in the little corner down here the price for these. While this is cooking, go ahead and get your mason jars ready. Pull out your water bath canner, get all your jars washed up, get everything set up and ready to go, get your towels set up, everything that you need to can, and have it ready to go. This isn't going to take too terribly long for it to sit and simmer and begin to thicken up, but I can tell you that a water bath canner, especially a good sized water bath canner, seems to take forever to boil. So go ahead and get your water on there, turn it on low and get it going and heating up. You can also set your jars down in there if you need to sterilize your jars if you haven't already pre-washed them. We are going to hot pack these, so my jars and my jam is going to be hot when I begin to can them, and we'll go over that process when we get to it. So we are going to go ahead and peel and core about 3 apples. The recipe that is in the book calls for about 1 to 2 apples. I am doing a larger quantity, so I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit extra. And yes, you can use an apple peeler or however you want to do this. There is no one way. But we're going to dice this up and get this in here. I did strawberry jam about 2 years ago, and I actually grated the apple up and threw it in there. I thought that it would, you know, it would work better. It doesn't matter. But at the time, I went ahead and grated an apple up in there. You can also add some lemon juice to this as well. Adds a little bit of a brightness, some zing to it. And I will probably put about 2 tablespoons or so of some lemon juice in this. You can use fresh lemon or just get the lemon juice. Just make sure that it's 100% lemon juice and you're not getting something watered down. Yep, get down there at the bottom and stir it up really good, okay? It's starting to make some juice right now. So I've got my handy helper back here. And this will be part of Hannah's homeschool day. So for those of you that might be new here or don't know, because I do more cooking on here than I do homeschool, we homeschool our girls, and Hannah's day is kind of split in half. So she does school for the first half of the day. We stop and we eat lunch, we take a break. She has, I guess, what people would refer to as a recess time, that she has free time to go and do things. That's usually when she runs outside, takes care of the chickens, and plays. But after that, we then begin to move through basically life skills for the day. So we do things such as canning, cooking, laundry, mowing the lawn, working in the garden. If there was something extra we're doing in the chicken coop, she is learning those skills. And so is Mia as well, except Mia's is a little bit more intensive. Mia will officially be 18. She has actually graduated high school, though I am keeping her in an additional year just to add on some life skills. I don't share very often, but Mia is considered intellectually disabled and will be a special needs adult. So we are working on getting her into a program for her to learn some work skills and just life living skills so that she can be as strong on her own, if possible, that she has those skills to be as strong on her own as can be. We want to give her every option that is available, whether she chooses to stay with mom which is what I prefer, or she chooses to be in more of like a home group setting. So she would live with other like adults. She would live with them in kind of a community. So it's an option that we're working on. So we're working on cooking skills and money and grocery shopping and using public transportation and those kinds of things. So let's show you our raspberries here. Hannah is doing a great job. So the raspberries are starting to break down. They're forming their juice. We got the apples in there, which are also going to cook down. And if you got big chunks, or like for the apples and stuff, you can use a potato masher and mash the rest of it down. So we're going to cook this down. I'm expecting quite a bit of seeds in this, so I do have my mill if we need to get some of the seeds out, but we will determine that once this is cooked down a little bit more. So just an FYI, raspberry stain. I've got raspberry spots everywhere, but I'm going to start adding sugar. I'm not going with quite a whole cup, so about 3/4 of a cup. I'm going to start with 8 cups, approximately 8 cups. It should be a cup per cup of fruit, according to Google. And about 5 pounds of raspberries, there's anywhere from 15 to 18 cups of fruit. So man, could you imagine putting 15 to 18 cups of sugar in jam? That just seems crazy. But I'll probably do about 10 cups of sugar and see how we go. And if we need to add a little bit more, we'll add a little bit more. Okay, so before this sets up, it's still in a good liquid state. I'm going to go ahead and get the seeds out. I'm going to put a few spoonfuls of seeds back in, but raspberry seeds are, you know, like blackberry seeds, they're kind of hard. So I'm going to mill out as many as I can. My mill comes with 3 different grates that go in the bottom, and it's not technically not grating the food. The liquid and the pulp still goes through. I use it for my tomatoes, and it leaves the skins and the seeds left over. But I figured I might as well go ahead and do this. So I'm technically transferring this out of one pot into another pot and going from there. I know that some people, you know, I've watched a few videos, they will mill the fruit before they put it in. Since mine was frozen, I would have had to wait till it completely thawed, which probably would have been a better process. Or if you're using fresh fruit, go ahead and mill it beforehand. That way you don't have to handle hot, bubbly liquid. Because when it splashes on you, boy does it burn. We've milled the seeds out. There's still plenty of seeds in this, but not enough that it would take away from the jam. And it is definitely thickening up. Consistency has changed. Almost, it's a syrupy consistency now. It's a lot thicker. So I haven't had too much foam happen on top as of right now, but if it is a problem, you can throw a little pat of butter in there. Usually it's about a tablespoon of butter, and it takes care of the foam. Or you can scoop the foam off the top if you want to do that. Get you a spoon and scoop it off the top.
Can I open this?
Here in just a second we'll open that. So I'm going to go ahead and let this keep cooking, and I am going to test it on my plate here shortly. Jars in here are nice and hot. I'm going to transfer them over here to my towel, fill them, and then we're filling up to a 1/4 inch headspace. Awesome, we got another egg. Let's fill up to a 1/4 inch headspace. It's usually the top rim. Let me grab a spare jar.
I'm going to show them our food.
You can get you a handy dandy measuring tool. This is the debubbler, but it also has the, if I can get that to stop focusing on my face, it has the measurements on the side. And usually it's this top line, but so when I'm filling, I fill to that top line because that's just what I know to be, and then I'll go through and check them. But we should be good. This is not a hot jar. All right, I'm gonna start the filling process, okay? We got floof eggs. We have one Easter egger that lays a nice green egg, which is awesome. Okay, so let's move some jars. You can actually put these down in the water if you want. I've had these sitting in there, and these, with this, honey, no, Mama's gonna move the jars, okay? This is very hot, okay? I don't want you to burn yourself, and I don't want you standing on the step stool over top of the stove and trying to move jars, okay? Just as soon as you're a little taller, you can do this as well. You can help me get them filled up. We got a lot of jars. I've overfilled the canner right now just because I wasn't sure how many jars I was going to need. But you actually do not want to put your jars next to each other where they're banging into each other. You want to leave a little bit of space so you don't end up with cracked jars. So this is at a boil, so it is ready to go. As I'm dropping jars in there. This can get messy. Get you a funnel for your jars just to help with the mess, and use a measuring cup, which I had a measuring cup out and it has disappeared. I try not to dirty as many dishes as I can when I'm doing this, but I always have a sink of dishwater going in the background where I am washing dishes. So you can use a ladle to do this, or you can use a cup. I find that using a measuring cup, just it pours easier and it's less mess. Because you can kind of wipe it on the side here and pour it in the jars. So I am going to get to pouring and filling to the top, and then I will go back through and top them off and make sure I have the right measurement at the top. Definitely want to wipe your rims. Don't skip this step because this is jam and it's sticky. So vinegar, I'm using white vinegar, and I am going to go around and make sure that I thoroughly wipe these rims off, because you're gonna make messy. You just are, because it's jam and you're filling so close to the top. And as you're filling, you'll spill some on other jars, so definitely make sure that you are wiping the rims of your jars. Obviously, if you process this and it does not seal. All you have to do is just pop it in the fridge. It'll be fine. Heck, there's enough sugar in here, you could probably just leave it out on the counter. I'm sure it'll be gone here in 2 days. We'll be doing peanut butter and jelly sandwiches left and right. Both kids have been in here tasting the goodness. So these have been soaking in some hot water. Let me get this stuff on. And then while these are processing, we are going to start the blackberry jam. Yep, we're going to put a miscellaneous lid on that one. I'm going to do one of these just to show you. You can go through, these jars are really hot. You can go through and watch me do this in other videos, but fingertip tight, put it on, just kind of lock it in place. You're turning it with 2 fingers and twisting it till it just stops. Don't crank it down. They're super hot. Okay, that's it. Don't crank them down. You'll buckle your lids. All right, let's get these going and in the canner. So I've got my timer set for 10 minutes, and I'm going to let these process and then pull them out. Let them sit completely cool. Check them the next day. Anything that doesn't seal, go ahead and put in the fridge. Anything that does seal, remove the rings, and then you are free to wash your jars off and store them how you would store them. Do not store them with the bands on. But this was my first time canning raspberry and blackberry jam. It is exactly how I canned my strawberry jam. I'm just experimenting a little bit more now with trying to put less sugar in it and not adding pectin, but adding a fruit that has a higher pectin content, like apples, into it. So far I've had a lot of success with it. I haven't messed up yet. But guys, as always, I tell you, follow a USDA or a ball canning recipe that is safe for you and your family. What I am doing, I feel comfortable and safe with, but you know, obviously I would never tell you to do something unsafe. So do what you feel is safe for your family. But I am going to go ahead and clean up my mess. I have a whole stack of dishes back here to wash, and I've washed these dishes once and then used them again. So I am definitely tired, but it was well worth the canning process. With the cost of these berries together and what I am going to put up on the shelf that I can also give away for gifts for Christmas, but enjoy with our Christmas dinners and lunches and things that we'll be going to. This is wonderful. I mean, I feel like it was money well spent, and I've saved money in the process instead of running to the store and buying, you know, a $6 and $8 jar of organic low sugar or no sugar jam to put in a recipe or something for us to enjoy for the holidays. So I'm super happy with this. I love the way that these came out, and I plan to share more recipes with you as I continue to order more things from Azure Standard. If you haven't already, I will put a link up here in the corner where you can check out my Azure Standard grocery hauls, and I hope to have you back here soon in my kitchen. Okay, so before I hop off here, and I'm done, this was the half a jar that we couldn't get in the canner, so I went ahead and popped it in the fridge. It's been in the fridge for a little over an hour. This is the set on this. This set up wonderful. I mean, completely gelled, like I had put pectin in it. So, I mean, that's awesome. So I'm super happy with this. It tastes amazing. And gosh, I am so happy that I did this with you guys today. So guys, as always, I thank you for joining me on my journey, and I bless you on yours.